listening to The Observing Eye. Pirate radio for the mind. Coming at you fresh from the computer hell cabin.
Hello, you beautiful lot. It's April the 21st, 2023, and this is episode 15 of The Observing Eye. If you've been following these podcasts already, welcome back. If you're new, welcome aboard. We're on a journey of self-development and self-discovery. But first, as is always the case, let's take a few moments of reflection. Let's think about what's been good the past week? What positive stuff has happened in our lives? And now, a few moments for the not so good. In this episode, we're going to be exploring how to navigate self-development in a crisis. There's this saying that I have, and I use it far too often, which is it's easy to be a Buddhist in a cave. So what I mean by that is, and I'm sure, we all understand, superficially at least, that Buddhism, or the aim of Buddhism, is to be at peace with oneself and the universe. It's really easy to be at peace with yourself and the universe when you're living on your own in a cave and have no responsibilities. It's trickier to be at peace with oneself and the universe when we are in the middle of a busy train station in rush hour and someone has just cut in front of us and caused us to miss the train, and now we've lost our bag and stepped in dog shit. And what's that? Oh, look, I'm getting a fine for being on the platform even though I have a ticket. Here we go. Fuck this. I'm out. That sense of calm and serenity quickly evaporates in scenarios such as these. So yes, very easy to be a Buddhist in a cave. In much the same way as it's very easy to apply all of these frameworks and ideas and tools that we have as part of our self-development journey when everything is going fine. But when the kitchen's on fire and the washing machine has leaked and the TV license people are kicking in your door, those tools and frameworks very quickly disintegrate and we go back to our default way of thinking. And our default way of thinking is most likely precisely the thing that we're trying to change as part of our self-development practice. Unfortunately, ChatGPT and our Fitbits haven't quite got to the point where they can identify that we're having an emotional crisis and step in to intervene with words of advice and soothing tones.
Hello. I'm Sandra, your personal crisis assistant. It appears you're having an emotional breakdown. Press 1 to continue.
Yes, thankfully there are no Sandras to assist us in these times. So we have to assist ourselves, and we have to get good at being resilient and at managing our emotions. And that's the fire in which all of our self-development practice burns, right? When emotions kick in and they take hold and they push us into those default ways of thinking and everything goes out the window. But David, you ask, how do we manage these emotions in times of crisis? Well, here are some things that I think about and come to my mind when I'm going through those moments of emotional crisis, because we all have them and it's completely fine to be in them at the time. I'm going to go full stoic on this one. So hold on to your pants. So the first thing on the list is to practice acceptance. Stoicism is really cool in that it teaches us to accept that the things which are beyond our control do not matter. And we have to focus on the things that we can influence. So that's important, right? Recognizing that there are things that are outside of our control, such as like the actions of others or external events that the universe just throws at us. In these moments of crisis, we need to focus on our own thoughts and behaviors which are fundamentally the only thing that we can control. We need to embrace adversity. Stoicism believes that adversity can help us grow. It can make us stronger, and it can make us more resilient. The Stoics view challenges as opportunities for growth and learning, and that's kind of what we need to think about in the way that we change our perspective around these moments of crisis, is rather than, fuck this is horrendous, we have to ask ourselves, okay, so what can I learn from this, both about myself and about the external world? So we can turn these crises into opportunities for growth and self-development rather than letting them quash any self-development work that we've done on ourselves already. Drawing on past experiences is a really, really useful way of improving our future decision-making process. The Stoics talk about cultivating self-awareness, as do the Buddhists, as do I think anybody who has anything to say of a genuine nature on self-development. So we need to become aware of our thoughts and our emotions by practicing mindfulness. Oh no, he said mindfulness. Yeah, it's a buzzword, I get it. And it's bandied around a lot, but being present, being aware of what is going on internally, observing what's going on internally. And journaling. Journaling's great. Oh, that was my phone, sorry. Journaling's great for stuff. It's a really good way to contextualize everything out of your head. And it gives us a really useful record that we can go back to later on if we want to review something that's happened to us in a similar context in the past and understand what emotions were going on for us. So do some journaling. Journaling's fab. We need to think about emotional regulation. So managing our emotions more effectively is what that means. And we can do this through a consistent meditation practice. We can do it through breathing techniques. You've probably come across something called box breathing, which is where you breathe in, you hold it, you breathe out, and you hold it, and you breathe in, and you hold it, and you breathe out, and you hold it. And you do that in cycles. Not fast, obviously, like 4 seconds for each or something. But box breathing is really good at calming the physiological side of the stress. The body leads and the mind follows when it comes to stress. So the body's going to create all of the cortisol and the adrenaline, and we have no choice but to follow that because, that's how the body works. So if we can lower the body's reaction, if we can just calm the body down, that can really take the edge off of those crisis moments first, and then enable us to engage the mind. If you try and engage the mind and the body's full of adrenaline, it makes it 100 times more difficult to try and process and manage and regulate what's going on internally. So calm the body, then calm the mind. I realize that I've not mentioned this for a little while, but gratitude. Yeah, you love gratitude. Gratitude's brilliant because it gives us perspective. It's really easy, and I am as guilty of this as anybody, to fall into the trap of thinking, oh God, everything's shit. Why does this happen to me? Nothing good is going on. The universe is just shitting on me. I guarantee you it's really not, but it can feel like that sometimes because of the chain of events and the way stuff happens. The wonderful thing about gratitude is that if we just take a moment each day, literally a minute, to reflect upon the good, positive things in our life, and that can be anything. That can be anything. It can be family, house, food, job, your pets, whatever positive, good things you have in your life. Take a minute and think about them and exercise some gratitude for it. Because when things do go shit, it gives us a balance internally. It enables us to say, okay, so this is happening, but it's not all bad because I know that I've got A, B, C, D, and E backing me up, and life isn't quite as apocalyptic as it may seem at this particular moment. We need to nurture our relationships. No man is an island. You know that saying, and it's very true. I've been very guilty of believing that it is possible to exist as an island. It is not. The sea batters us and the storm rages on, and there's no one to talk to about it. It gets very lonely, very boring. And you can get trapped in your own way of thinking, which, when there is nothing reflecting your thinking back at you, can be a dangerous space in which to exist. So foster strong connections with your friends, with your family, with whomever you find connection with. social support is essential in building resilience. We share our experiences with others and they can help us to navigate our challenges more effectively. We need people not only because, we are tribal social creatures, but we need people to act as mirrors so we can know when we're being batshit crazy or not, essentially. People can throw it back at us and be like, hang on a minute, David, what you're saying makes zero fucking sense. Maybe you should think about this, for example. And it really, really helps. So foster relationships, be more social. And I don't mean that in an extrovert sense, just, create relationships and work on them. They're important. And lastly, seek wisdom. Now that sounds very, very esoteric, doesn't it? Oh, typical Greek and Roman philosophers talking about seeking wisdom. But there is an intense value in the pursuit of wisdom and knowledge because it's a fantastic way in which we can learn from the experiences and wisdom of others without necessarily having to go through the same experiences ourselves. By continuously learning and seeking out new experiences, we can give ourselves a change in perspective. We can adopt and understand the insights that other people have gained through their experiences. And in a similar sort of way to how being social, how using people as mirrors can help us to understand when our thinking might be a little bit skew or, give us different perspectives. Seeking wisdom and knowledge does exactly the same thing. Learn from others rather than just trying to evolve in isolation. Okay. So that's my list. Let's recap that a little bit. So practice acceptance, embrace adversity, cultivate self-awareness, work on your emotional regulation, practice gratitude, nurture relationships, and seek wisdom, chase knowledge. Okay, that's your list of things to think about when you're trying to navigate your own personal crisis, whatever that may be. And I hope it isn't too severe when it arrives, because they always do. Not to put a downer on this, but we got to be prepared because shit happens. Not in a like a doomsday prepper kind of way. Don't go and buy loads of beans and toilet paper because it just, there's none for everybody else and it's just not fair. But, just practice some of these things, think about them, keep them in your mind so that when the crisis happens, you've got something to fall back on. Have like a framework. You want to create a safety net for yourself by practicing these things that we've talked about today, or at least having them in your mind so that you're aware of things you can use when the tornado hits. So that's it for today. Thank you, as always, for spending your time with me. It's always appreciated. We have such busy lives, and the fact that you choose to spend 10, 15 minutes listening to me is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So much appreciation to you for that. I'm going to wish you a fabulous weekend. Contemplate those things that we've talked about today, that list. See if there's anything that you can, any gaps that you can fill, any things that you can work on that would help you to navigate your own crises when they arise. And of course, I hope there is no crisis this weekend because it's the weekend. No one wants a weekend crisis. It's better when they're in the week and you can use them as an excuse not to work or something. But I didn't mean that. I don't advocate that, I promise. So yeah, have a fabulous one, everybody. Much love, and I will see you soon.
You've been listening to The Observing Eye. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I hope that you found it useful. And if you're interested in any more of my writings or work around psychology and philosophy and general day-to-day living, please go and take a look at my Substack, which is theobservingeye.substack.com, and that's I as in the letter, not I as in the gelatinous organ through which you see. Take care, everybody. Much love, and I'll see you soon.